today we are talking about the imperfect tense. And you'll notice I'm standing on this side of the board, and I'm doing that for a reason which will be made manifest in just a moment. But anyway, hey, the imperfect tense, okay? This is one of the verbs that's used in Spanish to talk about things that used to happen in the past, okay? Now, there's a whole different video on when to use the imperfect as opposed to when to use the preterite tense. But for now, all I want you to know about the imperfect tense is that first off, this word imperfect comes from the Latin word meaning incomplete, okay? So when we use the imperfect tense, we're talking about something in the past, and this is a general rule. There are some other rules and other things that you got to learn. But as a general rule, we're talking about things that were happening in the past that, in the context of our story, we look upon as being incomplete. Okay? You can describe any action in the past in two different ways. You can describe the action being done, finished, over with. That's the preterite tense. Or you can use the imperfect tense to kind of go back into the middle of the action. Okay? So that's just kind of a basic rule. Watch the other video in terms of when to use the preterite, when to use the imperfect. But the imperfect tense is one of my favorite verb tenses for a couple of reasons. One, it's easy. There are only 3 irregular verbs, and I'm standing right in front of them right now. I'll move and I'll show them to you in just a second. But yeah, there's only 3. It's not like the preterite tense where it seems like there are more irregular verbs than regular verbs. Okay? The other thing I love about the imperfect tense is the endings for AR verbs. You get to say things like trabajábamos, which is just fun to say. You got to admit. So let me teach you real fast how to conjugate verbs in the imperfect tense. We'll start with AR verbs. Just like all the other verb tenses, we're going to drop the AR, okay, and then we're going to add these endings, okay? So for example, let's use the verb trabajar, just because it's such a fun verb to do. If I wanted to say I used to work or I was working, okay, I would drop the AR from trabajar, and so I'm left with trabaj, all right? And then I would add the yo form, trabajaba. That is fun to say, you got to admit. Trabajaba, I was working. Trabajabas, the to form, you were working. Trabajaba, he or she was working. I know what you're thinking. Oh, wait, Señor Mason, you made a mistake. That's the same as the yo form. I didn't make a mistake. The third person singular and the first person singular have the same endings. So you want to be a little careful there. You might want to put the word yo up in front of your verb, or put an L or an ella or a name or something like that. Okay? If we wanted to say we were working or we used to work, we'd say trabajábamos. And notice there's an accent right there. Okay, that's important. If you wanted to say ye were working, trabajabais. Okay? And they were working or you guys were working, trabajaban. And again, that's going to work for every single AR verb. There are no irregular AR verbs, which is so nice. Okay? For ER and IR verbs, we add ia, ias, ia, iamos, iais, and ion. And notice there's an accent on the first I on all of those verbs. Okay? So if we wanted to use the verb escribir, I was writing. Again, I would drop the IR. I'm left with escrib, all right? And then I would just add the ending. Escribía, I was writing. Escribías, you were writing. Escribía, he or she or you in your usted form were writing. And recognize that the third person singular and the first person singular, again, have the same ending. So be careful with that. Nosotros, we were writing. Escribíamos. Escribíais, just in case you're in Spain, they need to use the vosotros form. And escribían would be they were writing or you guys were writing. Okay? And that's for IR verbs and ER verbs. We could do the same with the verb like comer. Comía, comías, comía, comíamos, comíais, and comía. Okay? That's the wonderful thing about this verb tense. There are only 3 irregular verbs. All the rest follow these patterns right here. Now, what are those irregular 3 verbs? I'll step right over here. Actually, I'm going to step over here. Okay? Ir, one of the usual suspects. This verb is almost always irregular. Ser, again, almost always irregular. And then I hope you can see this down here. Ver, to see. Okay? So the verb ir, if you wanted to say I was going or we used to go. Iba. I know, and it doesn't sound like Spanish, does it? But it is. Iba, ibas, iba, íbamos, ibais, and iban. Okay? For the verb ser, to be, if you wanted to say something like we were, we were, when I was a kid, I was really tall, okay? Era, eras, era. And again, notice, third person and first person singular, always the same. Nosotros éramos, vosotros erais, and eran. Okay? And then this guy, okay? Notice, each one of these has an accent on the first I there. Okay? Veía, veías, veía, veíamos, veíais, and veía. And those are the only three irregular verbs. Every other verb is totally, totally normal, which is just great news for all of us, okay? So, with that in mind, oh wait, I just realized you can't really see the, there. Now you can see those irregular verbs a little bit better, okay? But again, this is the imperfect tense. It's used to talk about things that we're describing in the past that we view as being incomplete, okay? And it's a super easy verb tense to learn.